Okay, this is a tutorial on how to create a shape tweening in Flash. We're going to start with some fundamentals, insert keyframe animation, and then show you how to do some tweening between a JPEG object and text. So the first thing that we want to do is go and click on ActionScript 3.0. This will give us our stage and our pasteboard. If we want to change the color of our stage or change our frame rate or dimensions, what we want to do is go into the pasteboard, right click, and go into Document Properties. Here you can change the dimensions. If you have a background image that you want to match the stage size to, you could do that and you just hit Contents. Or in this case, you could just hit Background Color and change the background color. So we're going to do sort of this color orange here. Hit OK. Also, just as a side note, you've got a frame rate here of 24. Normally you would want to keep it at 24 unless you're trying to do a specific effect, either something that's in a slower motion or a faster motion, but 24 is the international standard. Okay, the next thing we want to do is actually import something into our library. So you want to go into File, Import, Import to Library. And we are going to do a ghost JPEG. Okay, you could have imported that onto the stage, and what that would have done is brought it directly to the stage and also placed it in your library. But let's say you were doing multiple images, you wouldn't obviously want them all on the stage at the same time because you're going to be doing different layering and things of that nature. So it's probably best to just put it into your library as a habit. So let's move our ghost onto our stage. And as we can see, he's a little crooked. So what we want to do is go over here and hit our free transform tool. That'll put all these markers on it so you can move them, you could squish them, you could do whatever you want. So we want to move them like this. The other thing, which is best practices, is to make sure you name your layers. So go ahead and go on over here and transform layer 1 into ghost. Okay, as we showed in the previous tutorial, what we want to do is just do insert keyframe animation for now. And as I mentioned, once you put that ghost in, this has changed this into a keyframe. Again, this for me is a choice of preference. I like the 5-frame marker. So what we're just going to do is go insert keyframe. And by doing that, what that tells you is you're telling Flash that you want to keep this image, but you also want to sort of have a new action. So the new action is just moving the ghost a slight bit. So let's go to the 10 frame, hit insert keyframe, move the ghost a little bit more. Go to the 15, hit insert keyframe, move him a little bit more. Go to the 20, same thing, insert keyframe, move him a little more. Go to the 25, insert keyframe, move him a little bit more. Go to the 30, insert keyframe, move him a little bit more. Go to the 35, hit insert keyframe, move him a little bit more. Go to the 40, hit insert keyframe, move him yet a little bit more. Go to the 45, insert keyframe, and let's just move him on out. So 50, insert keyframe. Now we are going to move our little friend the ghost back in, so let's just turn him around and let's start bringing him back. So 55, insert keyframe, bring him here to 60, insert keyframe, move him a little bit more to 65, insert keyframe, move him again to about here, and then on 70. What I want you to do now, pay attention, this is different. So actually let's go to 75. We want to go insert blank keyframe. So what that has done is says, okay, we are no longer dealing with the ghost. We are now dealing with a new item, new image, new something. So what we're going to do is go into the text tool, bring it on over here, roughly about where the ghost was. Let's increase the font size a little bit to at least 48 and say Happy Halloween. Alright, went a little too far, so let's just move that on over. Okay, so now what we need to do is these are two bitmap images at this point, and what we need to do is create them into shapes. So we want to go all the way back here to where our ghost was. We want to click on them, then we want to right click, and we want to hit what's called break apart. And as you can see, he's got now kind of a mesh on him. And if we go into the properties, we can see that he's now a shape. So go back to the library. Okay. Now what we want to do is go on over to our font. So again, if we go to the properties, we can see that it's a frame, and we don't want it as a frame, we want it as a shape. So what we want to do is go over to that, right click again, hit break apart. Now what this is going to do is actually break it down into each letter. So you could actually just select one of the letters if you wanted to. I don't, so I'm just going to hit break apart again. And this is going to give it kind of all the entire mesh here. So what we want to do now is in between the ghost that's meshed and before the Happy Halloween, we want to sort of go in the middle, and we want to right click and we want to do create shape tween. And then at the 75, let's go to, let's say 85 and hit insert keyframe. Now let's see what we've got. So to view this, we could either hit, if you're using a Mac, hit Command Return. I believe if you're using a PC, hit Control Return. Or you've got sort of these down here that you can sort of look. So we want to hit Rewind and then hit Play. So we should have our little ghost coming in, then coming out, and then transforming into the Happy Halloween. I hope you found this tutorial useful. Thank you.